In 2012, LEGO released their first ever Lord of the Rings sets, producing 7 non-polybag sets depicting classic scenes from the movie franchise. A year later, they dropped their first direct-to-consumer set for the line, along with several smaller sets, including a small Council of Elrond set. It's been 10 long, dark years since then, with no massive Lord of the Rings sets to be found until today. That's right, everyone. LEGO just dropped the official images of the new Rivendell direct-to-consumer set. With over 6,100 pieces and a price tag of $500 US, this set will be available starting on March 5th, 2023. I'm a huge LEGO Lord of the Rings fan and purchased many of the sets from a decade ago. Is Rivendell an interesting looking build? Is this the Lord of the Rings set we've all been waiting for? Will it solve all of the world's problems? Okay, let's not overreact too much, but is this a set I plan on purchasing on day one or at all? Stick around to find out. The set breaks down into 3 unique sections: the main building, an elven tower, and a gazebo. These sections are surrounded by a significant amount of rock, earth, and water builds, complete with bridges, routes, and minor elevation changes. When looking at the overall build, 2 themes stand out. The first is the varied building techniques, with much of the set flipping back and forth between studs on top and studs not on top, or snot. The seamless transition between the 2 techniques is quite an accomplishment and testament to the skill of Mike Sayaki, the set designer. Second, as is often the case with Mike Sayaki designed sets, there are multiple subtle angles used throughout. I will highlight these themes as we unpack this set. We're going to journey backwards through the set from right to left and start with the gazebo. The main feature is the gazebo itself, with the pillars constructed with candle pieces and the rounded top formed from dinosaur tail pieces and the swirly plant stems that first appeared in elf sets nearly a decade ago. The larger dome sections incorporate toilet seats connected with droid arms to fill the gaps. The 1x4 bow slopes that divide the pillars from the dome cover up the modified plates with clips so that the entire look is intricate but not messy. Inside the gazebo is a table that is hard to see but looks like it features yet more snot techniques. Off to the right of the gazebo is a small section of flat earth that has an entrance to an armory on a 45-degree angle, of course, a furnace, some foliage, and a barrel of weapons. Here we have our first of many trees, which uses the large plant leaf part in sand green, and that first appeared in Mia's Wildlife Rescue in 2022. At the base of the tree are some new foliage pieces that are very suitable for Rivendell. They look like ferns and will help any LEGO builder fill out their trees and or forest floors. Also on the tree are a number of 3-leaf plant elements in olive green for just the 3rd time, and some in pearl gold. Walking back toward the gazebo, the terrain rises with the help of a snot staircase, bringing you to another tree that has long roots all the way down to the flat section of earth. This tree mixes bright light orange and orange leaf elements and Technic axle connectors as the trunk. Underneath the gazebo, there is an armory, which is jam-packed with new weapons molds. There is a small opening from the armory to the outside, making this a cozy section of the set. The last part of the gazebo section is a well-designed stream and bridge. The bridge may be the simplest build on the whole set, which is saying quite a bit. The stream is a combination of regular and snot building techniques, mixing trans-clear light blue arched pieces for a waterfall, tiles for the water, white rounded pieces as rapids, and dark tan slopes as rocks. Now guys, just so you get a sense for how big this set is, This first section is nearly the same size as a full base plate. It's over 32 studs wide and 26 studs deep. The second section consists of the main building and includes the council ring and Elrond's substantial study. This is the focal point of the set, and the insane amount of detail demonstrates that. That's right, if you thought the first section was complex, your mind is about to be blown. As we cross the bridge from the gazebo to the main building, we are greeted by an entrance that looks simple at first glance, but is more complex than originally meets the eye. Check it out. The base of the pillars are sand green rounded plates sandwiched around a mint green circle. Then we add a 1x1 round tile with a bar upside down so that the bar is stuck into the round plate and mint green circle. Upside down candle pieces form the pillars themselves, capped by upside down cones, another sand green rounded plate, and a 1x1 brick with studs on both sides. So that now you can continue the build with normal studs on top building techniques. This is just an example of how complex this section is, because this kind of technique is used all throughout it. But the use of angles is also present here in 3 ways. This whole entrance is built on a rotated snot platform. There are 1x4 hinge plates with sand green mud guards as an archway in between some of the columns, and this whole section turns subtly in from the gazebo. Taking a peek behind the entrance, you get 2 more trees. A small spindly tree that uses reddish-brown candles for the trunk, and, by the way, 2023 is the first year for those pieces in this color. The second tree is the tallest in the set, coming in at over 35 studs tall. The technique for the tree stands out. Starting with a common Technic axle connector trunk, the leaves are attached using the 2x3 modified plate with a hole and some 4x3 plant leaf pieces. This is really clever, and although it might be a repetitive build, the final product looks great. Let's journey on to the council ring. As we walk over another bridge, we arrive at the ring platform, built mainly from light clay pieces mixed in with some olive green and dark tan slopes as rocks. The chairs are largely a medium nougat color with a reddish brown base, but note the interesting parts usage. Hot dog pieces, appearing for the first time in this color, form the arms, and then popsicles form the backs, again appearing for the first time in medium nougat. There are 7 versions of this chair connected to one another, and an 8th chair present for Elrond. His chair is more dignified than the rest as it is taller and uses some turquoise tiles for cushions. The plinth where Gimli tries to smash the ring is very creatively built using a piece I know I've seen before, but honestly I can't remember what it's called. Comment down below if you know what the piece is. You might be tempted now to stare at the huge tree behind Elrond's seat, but not so fast. Check out the tiling around the plinth. This looks to be tan-printed Nexo Knight's shields. You can see that the facet tiles in light blay form the boundary with the tan, olive green, and reddish brown printing. This looks incredible, and again, the seamless transition between snot and regular building techniques is just too good. Now we can take a peek at that tree behind Elrond's seat. This tree has the widest girth of any of them in the set, as it is a 4x4 brick-built trunk with roots coming out from each corner. The most impressive part of this build is how Mike Sayaki bends the large roots into the trunk with the help of 1x4 arches. Details, details, details. Elrond's library is rather substantial and complicated. There aren't really any good images of the main level, but there are brick-built columns reminiscent of the Disney castle, albeit on a smaller scale. The interior flooring uses a combination of hand-printed Nexonite shields and 2x2 printed tiles. The pattern is likely the same as that used around the plinth, I think, but if you notice otherwise, let me know. The highlight very well might be the large candelabra on the far right edge of this section. Note the pearl gold bones flipped upside down and the lipstick piece in white with a flame inserted in it. On the second level of Elrond's library, we have a statue of an elf maiden holding the shards of Narsil. The shard piece is yet another new one for the set and looks great. Above the statue are two pieces of elven art, which look to be stickers affixed to 3x3 tiles. More pillars separate the council ring from the library and are similar in style and construction to the other pillars in the set, except note the use of cupcake holders for additional architectural detailing. That's creative. Now let's pause for a moment, and here's what I want you to do. Okay? Close your eyes. Open them. What part of the set caught your attention as soon as you open your eyes? If you're like me, it was the roof. I love its look, and the sand blue, tan, medium nougat, and sand green color combination just screams Rivendell. But this is going to be a tedious build. These tiles are rotated 45 degrees, and they're not only a lot of tiles, but if you're OCD, you might be spending a ton of time making sure they're all lined up the same way. The tedium of placing hundreds of tiles may detract from the overall enjoyment of the build. Oh, and this whole section, by the way, is 48 studs wide. Hey, real quick, if you've been watching the video this long and aren't subscribed to our channel, why not do that now? We'd love to have you join us on our family Lego journey. For this video, our journey now moves to the tower section, and to get there, you walk through a beautiful archway that uses macaroni tiles in a similar effect as the Lion Knight's castle. The archway wall is offset by half a stud, so it actually overhangs into the tower section just a bit. More elven art, likely stickers, is present along the side walls and back of this section. The art on the back wall shows Isildur in the midst of defeating Sauron at the end of the Second Age of Middle-earth. The tower exterior is exquisitely designed. The base contains 5 elven statues set within a detailed brick wall. Again, we see the theme of angles present here. 5-sided towers are tough to build. Trust me, I've tried. And Mike Sayaki uses creative snot techniques to eliminate any unsightly gaps. The top of the tower is another fantastic build that uses modified slopes in a similar vein as the Sanctum Sanctorum. The interior of the tower is where we find Frodo's bedroom. There are a lot of nice Easter eggs throughout the set, and particular in this room, including a 2x2 tiled sticker with the Mithril shirt and a desk where Bilbo is composing his magnum opus, there and back again. Both the chair and bed in this room are exciting builds, and highlighter yellow bed sheets really pop out, even if they are still red. Finally, we come to the part of the set that many Lord of the Rings fans are excited for, the minifigs. One hallmark of the original Lord of the Rings sets was the minifigs, many of which are worth a ton of money now, given that they only appeared in 1 to 2 sets. This set comes with 15 minifigs, including the 9 in the Fellowship of the Ring, plus Elrond, Arwen, Glóin, Bilbo, and 2 elves. The hobbits have bendable legs that are dual molded so that they appear to have bare feet. These legs in and of themselves are a marked improvement over the minifigs from 10 plus years ago. Now all the minifigs are fantastic to me, but there are some that stand out, such as Elrond's elaborately printed torso and legs, Gandalf's shabbily depicted robes, Bilbo's alternative head printing, Pippin's vest printing, the new sword for Boromir, and Gimli's new axe piece. The set description claims that there are 15 minifigs. That's not entirely accurate. We have the 5 statues in the tower section, plus the half statue in Elrond's library that brings the number to 20 and a half minifigs, which really is substantial even for a set of this size. When rumors of the set first appeared, anticipation grew quickly online. The pop culture topic, 10-year gap since the last Lord of the Rings sets, and expected size were all tantalizing to us LEGO fans. Based on these images, does the set deliver? Will I purchase this when it drops on March 5th? How many non-vital organs do I have to sell in order to afford it? Well, there are 4 characteristics on which I'm judging this set: monetary value, pieces, build experience, and display value. Let's start with monetary value. This is a massive set. It's over 90 studs wide, which means this is wider than 3 modular buildings put together. Yes, I know that it comes with hundreds of 1x1 tiles for the roof, and that tedious build might be a problem for some people, but the 6,100 plus pieces aren't overly inflated by needless small parts. Think of it this way though. Modular buildings now cost over $220 for around 2,800 pieces. This set is more than double the piece count for a bit more than double the price. To me, that adds up to a decent value. Furthermore, you get a lot of minifigs, more minifigs than you would in 2 to 3 modular buildings. And these minifigs are a great selection for a legendary book and movie. You get every figure you would expect from a set focused on the Council of Elrond, and then some. Next, there are the new pieces. Now, we discussed some of these already, but there are brand new pieces like the fern-like plants, what looks like a new 1x2x6 arch, new accessories, and more. On top of that, you get old parts in new colors, like hot dogs and popsicles in medium nougat. Finally, the sheer volume of useful parts demonstrates the value of this set. There will be some Technic pieces, but it looks like a much lower ratio than, say, the Loop Coaster. And while there are some large pre-molded pieces like columns and doorways, these are the exception rather than the rule. Bottom line, there's value in this set. Third, what about the build experience? The roof and cypress trees may be repetitive builds, but the rest of it looks fresh from one section to the next. There are cool and unique building techniques throughout the set, such that this promises to be a largely entertaining and engaging build. In fact, if I'm being honest, I'm more excited about building this than I was the Jazz Club, and I love the modular buildings. Finally, what about its display value? This set looks great on display. If you have the room for it, and that's key, if you have the room for it, people will be drawn to it, and it's easily identifiable as Lord of the Rings. Just like the Hogwarts castle that's in micro scale, this set pops on a shelf. So there's no doubt this is worth its value in terms of display. So in conclusion, I will aim to buy this set on day 1. To do so, I will be selling 1 kidney. Okay, I'm kidding. But I'm not joking when I say that this could be the set of the decade. A theme like Lord of the Rings does not have the volume of sets as, say, Star Wars, Marvel, or DC. We just don't get many Lord of the Rings sets frequently enough. Add to it that this depicts an iconic book and movie scene, and you have the recipe for a legendary set. If you like large LEGO sets, check out this recent video. Did you notice something that I didn't about this set? Tell me about it in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and always remember to keep building together.